Hello, my little artists. It's time to do our project for today. So today, as you can see, we are going to be making a shark. And our shark is looking like he is getting ready to jump out of the water and catch him some dinner. So now let's take a look at our picture. First of all, our paper needs to be going tall portrait. So make sure your paper is going nice and tall. And now look at my shark. He's huge, isn't he? Am I going to draw an itty bitty shark? No, I want a big shark like Jaws. He's a big, great white shark. So we have to draw him and fill up the whole paper. It's just like those portraits we learned about. Remember when we did our portraits? We are making a portrait of Jaws. A portrait of our shark. So, here's what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to come up, get your pencil. I've got my Sharpie. You've got a pencil. And we're going to come up near the top of our paper. Up here near the top. Okay? See where my finger is? Try to put your finger right where my finger is. Is it at the very, very top of my paper? No. Is it over here on the left? No. Is it all the way over here on the right? Nope. Is it down here near the bottom? Nope. It's right up here near the top and more towards the right of my paper. So once you have your finger right about where mine is, we're going to make a dot. Can you see my dot? Look how little my dot is. That's about as small as Vashti's dot in the book The Dot that we read. Little dot. Now, here's what we're going to do with our dot. We are going to take our dot, and that's going to be the tip of our shark's nose. So what we have to do from our dot is we have to curve over and all the way down. Does it go all the way to the corner, or does it come up a little bit? It comes up a little bit. So I'm going to start here at my dot, and I'm going to curve over and make a line that comes all the way down to the edge of my paper near the bottom. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to curve over and draw straight near the bottom over to the edge. Big line. Look how long that line is. That line is so big. Now, does your line have to look perfect? Nope, never. Never has to look perfect. Okay, now this one, I'm going to curve it back down, and it's going to come down here towards the bottom. Can you see my finger? See my finger? Hello. Down here towards the bottom. So if you want to go ahead and put one finger down here so you know where it's going to end, because it's not all the way here at the corner. See my corner over here? It's not all the way over here. It's coming over a little bit. And that'll hold your paper still. And then you're going to curve all the way down to your finger. Okay? So we'll start up here where my dot is and curve all the way down to my finger. And it's like we drew this giant triangle. Kind of looks like the edge of a Dorito, doesn't it? Big shark. We've got a huge shark. Because he is a great white shark. And they're called great white sharks because they're so big. Okay, so once we have the top of his head and the bottom of his mouth and belly done, now we're going to draw this line. And it's going to start right about where our dot was. And it's a diagonal line that comes down to the bottom. Now, here's the corner of my paper over here. See my corner? Am I coming all the way to my corner? Nope, I'm coming down to the bottom of my paper. So I'm going to start right about where my dot was. And I'm going to draw a diagonal line down. Does it have to be perfectly straight? Nope. Draw a diagonal line down to the bottom. Now I want to make sure it's going down to the very bottom of my, okay? All the way to the edge, all the way to the bottom. Okay, don't just stop up here in the middle of your paper, because then your shark head is just going to kind of look like it's floating in space. When we draw it down to the bottom of our paper, it makes it look like we took a picture, but we didn't get the bottom half of the shark in our picture. We kind of just took a picture and zoomed in on his head. Just like we talked about before, when you get your picture made on picture day, they zoom in on your face because that's the most important part of you, is your face and your pretty little smiles. And the bottom of your portrait kind of cuts off the bottom of your body, but we know it's still there. We just don't see it in the picture. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to add his fin, because that's the part of the shark you see, right? If you ever watched a movie with sharks in it and you're at the water, you see that little triangle fin just swimming around, and that's how you know the shark's there. Okay, so we're going to come down a little bit, and we're going to draw kind of like a rainbow line back towards the left of our paper. So it's just a little rainbow line, not a big one, just a little one. And then it's going to curve in a little bit and kind of do another rainbow to his back. So it's going to curve a little bit and then a rainbow back to his back. And that makes a shark fin. And again, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to look exactly like mine, doesn't have to look like the person sitting next to you. Ish drawings. Shark-ish. So take another couple seconds and finish his fin, and then we are going to draw his mouth. Now, let's take a look at his mouth before we draw it. Look at this line. Look at this black line on my paper. Does that look like a letter? Does it look like the letter C, as in cat? C as in cat. I just drew a letter C. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm just going to draw a giant letter C. Make it big. Big, big, big. Because our shark has a very big mouth with lots and lots of teeth. Lots of sharp, sharp teeth. Because he's about to eat dinner. We'll get him some fishies. Now, look at our shark's eye. Does our shark look like a happy shark? Or does he look like a mean shark? Kind of looks like a mean shark, doesn't he? Okay. So we're going to add his eye up here. We're going to do his eye up here towards the top above his fin. So I'm going to draw a circle that kind of fills up this whole section. See how it touched the top and then where his belly is? And then I'm going to add another circle up here because our shark is looking up, because he's going to be looking up at the fish he's getting ready to eat. Now, to make him look really mean, we're going to add this little curved line at the top. Now, watch how I do this. I'm going to add this little curved line right at the top. It's not even curved that much. It's more like a diagonal line. And I start back here and go across the top of his eye and extend it out a little bit. And that's going to make him look mean. So I drew a circle that filled up this section of the triangle. Drew a circle up near the top to make him look up, because he's going to be looking up at his fish. And then I drew this kind of curved diagonal line to make him look angry. Now the next thing I need to do is give him some gills. And we know that gills are how fish and sharks breathe underwater. the gills, because the water goes into the gills, and then there's a whole big process that goes on that turns it into oxygen so that they can breathe. Don't really understand it much myself, but that's how that works. So we got these 3 little smiley face lines that are going to be his gills. So I'm just going to draw smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, and now he has some gills, so our shark can breathe. Now we're almost done with our shark. All we have to do now is finish his mouth. Now, when we look at his mouth, what do we see a lot of? Teeth. Lots of teeth. What shape are his teeth in? Are they triangles? Yep. So, what we have to do, let's look up here. Does this look like a letter to you? Does that look like the letter V? So I'm just going to draw letter V's all the way around the curve of that C, and then they're going to turn into upside down V's. Okay? So I'm going to draw a V. And then I'm going to add another V that's touching it. Now you've got 2 teeth. He looks kind of funny. Draw another V. Now I've got sideways V's. And I'm just going to keep adding V's. Now they're upside down V's, so they kind of look more like triangles. And then I got room to squeeze one more in. Now, do yours have to look exactly like mine? No. They don't have to look exactly like mine. Just feel a lot of sharp, pointy teeth. Lots of sharp, pointy teeth. Now, the last thing we're going to do with our shark is we have to add his tongue, which, as you can see, it's 2 rainbow lines. Just 2 rainbow lines. One starts over here in the middle of our C and comes back, and then it comes and ends at a tooth. So I'm going to make a rainbow line and another rainbow line back to his teeth, and that gives him a tongue. Okay, so let's finish our shark, and then all we have left is the water, the bubbles, and the fish. Water, bubbles, and fish. Okay, now to do the water, it's really simple. We're just going to make some smiley faces, some big smiley faces up near the top of our shark, because remember, we want it to look like his nose is coming up out of the water. Okay, so I'm going to draw some big smiley faces, right above his fin over to his mouth. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Big smiley faces. And then I have to go to the other side of his head and draw a couple more. And that makes the top of our water. So draw the water lines, and then we're going to learn how to make fish. Okay, for our first fish, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a diagonal line right above his nose. And then I'm going to draw two diagonal lines to make a triangle. So I just made a little triangle. And then I'm going to draw a sideways rainbow from the tip of my triangle and a sideways smiley. So it kind of makes that almond football shape. So it's like a football with a triangle on the end. And that's our fish. And then you just do a circle for his eye. And then if you want, you can add another little circle inside. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I have to move my picture over. Okay, that's pretty good. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I got this fish. Now my other fish, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do me another diagonal line over here. I'm going to make it a triangle. Triangles have three sides. Then I'm going to do a sideways smiley face and a sideways rainbow line. Doesn't have to look perfect. That one looks more like a circle than it does that football shape, which is fine. It's no big deal. And then I'm going to do a circle for his eye and another little circle if you've got room. If not, that's fine. And then I'm going to zoom back out. Zoom back out. And then all we have to do now is make our bubbles. Or actually, these might just be water droplets. I don't know. They might be bubbles. They might be water droplets. I don't know. But we're going to make some dots, some big circles above the water up here. So I'm just going to draw some big circles. Big circles. Some can be a little bit smaller. Some can be a little bit bigger. I'm just going to add some circles. Up here in the sky. I'll put one more over here on the other side of my fish. And then I'm done drawing. And I have drawn my fierce great white shark jumping out of the water to catch some fish for dinner. So go ahead and finish drawing your pictures. And once you are finished drawing, you may color your sharks and the water and the sky and the fishes. You can see I've only outlined with my marker. I didn't color it with the crayon. I just outlined with the marker. And as you can see, I did my fish orange. I made his tongue red. Eyes are black. His mouth and his teeth are black. And then everything else I did in blue. Okay? So, you guys can use whatever colors you want. It's up to you. But remember, like we always do, we outline with a marker and color in with a crayon. So, finish drawing your sharks, and once you are done, you can put your pencil off to the side. Don't put your pencil in your bags. Put your pencil off to the side. I'm going to come get pencils once everyone's done drawing, and you guys can start outlining with the marker and coloring in with a crayon. And I hope you guys had fun learning how to draw a great white shark today. And until next time.